In spite of only ever appearing in one game canonically, Jun Kazama's brief presence in Tekken has engendered more ripples in the story than any other character has managed to date. Despite this, it's all but confirmed that we will probably never see her again, nor will we ever learn what became of her. Join me as we take a look at the story of the most unforgettable, forgotten character that the Tekken series has ever known. People often tend to be entranced by the beauty of nature, yet with Jun, it was the other way around. After moving from Yakushima to Tokyo, she continued her ecological work as a nature conservationist. Before long, she happened upon an animal trafficking operation in the area, led by Kazuya, the head of the Mishima Zaibatsu at the time. Apart from being a capable martial artist, we learn that Jun also possesses immense psychic abilities, as she picked up Kazuya's trail by sensing a mysterious dark entity intertwined with his tormented soul, which called out to her much like a distress signal. Realizing that she had an opportunity to both put an end to the smuggling operation and save Kazuya, she entered the second Tekken tournament. The two were inextricably drawn to one another and conceived a progeny in the shape of Jun Kazama. Years passed, but things began to go awry. Heihachi plunged the Zaibatsu even further into turpitude. A monstrous creature was unleashed and began attacking many martial arts masters around the world and laying waste to everything caught in its wake, until finally reaching Jun's door. The third tournament was announced, and Jun was never heard from again. Or was she? Let's take a deeper look and try to uncover what may have happened to Jun, and probably what has always been. Objectively speaking, there seems to be a very clear reason as to why Jun disappeared in Tekken. Canonically though, things are not that simple, as despite never officially returning to the series after the events of Tekken 2, Jun has never really left either. So unfortunately, it seems we are resigned to wade through equivocacy. This leaves us with three possible theories regarding Jun's true potential. The first of which is the most probable. Asuka is Jun reincarnated. This is absurd, you might say, and understandably so. But to that I say, let's look at some of the evidence that corroborates this. For starters, we know that Jun, Asuka, and Jin all share the last name, Kazama. This confirms that they are from the same bloodline. Now, fans initially assumed her to be Jun's half-sister or cousin, which seems reasonable. Yet Harada has come forward, confirming that they are indeed related but do not share a biological parent. This still leaves the possibility of them being cousins, which Harada dismissed by saying that things were, quote, not that simple. This means that the relation between the two is a lot more complex than people think, so we need to dig a little deeper. In Tekken 5, we see that Asuka possesses special abilities she may not be aware of. Specifically, she is able to suppress the devil gene with her touch. Does this remind you of anybody? Now, we do not know the true extent of Jun's abilities, but we do know that she has incredible mystic powers. If she is powerful enough to repel such a potent entity by simply touching someone, is it really that much of a stretch to believe that she might also have the ability to reincarnate herself? Another clue is that Asuka and Jun strongly resemble one another. From their choice of outfits, to fighting style, to their inexplicably strong link to nature and animals, down to the white headband they both wear. Now, some could make the argument that they have wildly contrasting personalities, but remember, we're suggesting that she is Jun's reincarnation, not her clone, in which case it would be more reasonable to expect an exact copy. Ultimately, I'll leave it up to you to decide. The second possibility leans more into Jun's mystical abilities, and it's where we will try to make sense of her role in the story. Details are vague regarding her interactions with Kazuya, but we know for sure that aside from them conceiving, Jun's connection with Kazuya acted as some sort of a catalyst that brought forth Devil and Angel. It seems she was destined to intercede on behalf of Kazuya and somehow managed to give these entities within Kazuya a physical presence so that the battle for his soul could be waged in the real world. This tells us that Jun Kazama was most likely a conduit, and after fulfilling this prophecy, if you will, she returned to her homeland to raise her son. We know that the devil gene tends to come for the heirs of the Hachijo clan at the age of 5. Jin is known to have received the mark of possession at the age of 15. This is the first time we see the devil entity being successful despite being directly opposed by Jun, which seems to suggest that with age her powers may have waned. Sometime later, Jun uses what little strength she has left after her encounters with the devil to fend off Ogre. A fierce battle ensues, and Jin wakes up after struggling against the beast alongside his mother, being confronted by both devil and ogre in less than a decade, and after fulfilling her destiny as an agent of Providence, and ensuring that the Mishima curse might be lifted by her son one day, Jun vanished. This most likely means that Jun as we know her is well and truly gone, either at the hand of ogre or through her own doing, as we discussed earlier. Again, when questioned about this presumption, Katsuhiro Harada fervently denies that Jun has passed, despite this theory's palpable verisimilitude. The third outcome is decidedly more sinister, but seems to be the direction in which Tekken characters trend in, and it involves analyzing the clues staring us in the face. Now, Harada strongly denies that Jun has passed on. He also denies that the two are relatives in the traditional sense. And as nobody has seen or heard from her since Tekken 2, her status in the story is officially noted as being unknown. But the devs decided to have fun with this and created the character Unknown in the Tekken Tag games. In her first appearance, Unknown had a striking resemblance to Jun. She even bore the same mark of possession on her arm as Jin, but this was dismissed as nothing more than a coincidence, as unlike Jin, she was clearly being influenced by a wolf spirit. Then, in Tekken Tag 2, Jun was the final boss of the game, and in her second phase, quite literally transforms into Unknown. The tag games may not be canon, but the insinuation is clear. The door has purposely been left open regarding Jun's fate. We likely will have more answers in the future, but for now, it seems that Jun has been earmarked to become a tragic villain in the future. But what do you think became of her? Do you think Jun will return in a later Tekken as the main antagonist? If so, will we see Kazuya finally reach catharsis by trying to save her as she tried to save him? Or do you think, despite looking and sounding a little different, she's actually been around all this time? Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this discussion. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.